you have people building on Lovable making 100K a month. And they have never built a thing in their lives. And there is a real market in helping people understand how this can move the needle for them. Because
Is there a software that you would say our listeners 100% should download?
I don't feel that there's a dramatic differentiator between the big ones at the moment. So like you've got Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, they're all as bad as it is. The only one I would avoid to use is Copilot.
I thought you were going to say Grok.
Well, Grok is divisive, but and for good reason, and we can get into that. But I was more looking at from a capability perspective. It's just that Copilot kind of doesn't measure up from that perspective. But all the others, like they have their plus points and their negatives.
But you're mainly saying the LLMs, the ones that we know, rather than some software that's built on top of one of these that has really pushed ahead and is looking at whether it's Lovable or synesthesia, the video.
Synesthesia, yeah. So, I mean, I really like Replit and Lovable, but that is when you Replit more than Lovable, simply because I feel Lovable is a little bit more for prototypey bits, whilst now I'm a software engineer by background, and you do need to take that into account because I'm a little bit more comfortable with slightly more technical platforms. But Replit pushes things a bit further, which allows me to put it into production where suddenly thousands of users can use it or more. I actually think there's a bit of a void at the moment in a company putting a product together that looks at all these obvious things and makes it extremely easy to use. I am very surprised that ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini are not actually doing more of these things themselves, to the point where, I mean, we're going to be releasing our own actually in 2 weeks. So under wraps at the moment, but well.
Yeah, I made my own too because I was using different large language models for different things. So if I'm researching, say I'm writing an article or I want to research my answers for a podcast, I'll use Perplexity because I think it's the most effective and it doesn't have a personality and it really gets like to the bottom of things. If I want to have more out of the box thinking creatively, I'll use Claude because I think the personality is brilliant of Claude. Yeah.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah. I think I use ChatGPT if I'm more like strategizing. I think, it's the OG for a reason in a lot of ways and it can do a lot more. And it also just has the memory of me particularly. And I use a lot of customized GPTs, which means just like pre-prompting a model.
Yeah.
So I'll do that if I'm writing copy, for my social media or something. I have a customized GPT that I've uploaded all my copy into, so it knows the kind of tone of voice that I want. But yeah, I was going to say my top tip would be Replit. And for anyone who doesn't know, it basically gives you the ability to code your own apps. And it sounds wild. I'm really passionate about getting women into AI. There's a stat that like women are less likely to adopt AI because they feel like it's cheating. And you talked about, how the gap is widening between the people who are using it and who aren't. And so many of them are women. But when I talk to them and I show them the things that they can make, everything from affirmation generators to scheduling to things that can really help them in their everyday lives, I feel like it's such an empowering tool. And actually, I prefer Gemini AI Studio at the moment for making, just for ease of use, for making your own apps. Yeah, I'd really say start there. And the biggest problem that I see when I teach people how to use AI is they say, oh, well, I already tried that. But they don't realize that if they go back like 3 weeks later, the technology would have totally changed.
Yeah.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Please.
So you say that you can do today in an hour what used to take a day. Yeah. Can you give me an example? Like what used to take a day, what takes an hour, and what tools are you using to do it?
Yes. So a good example so we do big enterprise sales deals because we work with big organizations. A good proposal would take me a full day to put together. It's like a 7-8 page type thing. It's entirely personalized. It's based on 8 different conversations I will have had with different stakeholders in the organization. That now takes me 10 minutes. Why? Because I can feed all the transcripts of all the conversations I've had in. I've got agents set up that are specialized in doing research on the company, doing research on the individuals. I have 10 different examples of great proposals that I've written in the past. I've got an agent set up that crawls through all my emails. So basically the agent has all of this data on everything that's happened. And then based on the fact it's got examples, it's able to crank out really great proposals. Not only does it do in those 10 minutes what I would have taken a day to go and do, it's actually a few steps beyond what I would have ever been able to get to, because I cannot keep all of that data in my head whilst I'm trying to write a proposal, whilst it can.
I'm not hearing anything yet that I'm like, oh shit, that's something I just didn't have any awareness of.
So, well, this is actually my own system that I've had to build, and this is why I'm saying, like, I'm surprised that none of the AI players have put this together yet. We're working at now making this commercially available to anyone that can go and do it, but right now it's literally a system I had to build myself. And that's also why the barrier is too high for most non-technical people. And it takes 3 days for me to try and get somebody else to a similar level at the moment.
We're in the era of sticking things together with sellotape, because I'm making so many vibe coded products that help me with my everyday life. And then I have a meeting and someone will be like, oh, well, can we buy that from you? And I'm like, I don't know if my vibe coded product is going to survive the customer service, the kind of, element en masse. So yeah, it's an interesting time.
In an age where abundance feels like it's at the fingertips of many, but also so far away, how can one tap into ChatGPT and these LLMs to quickly build abundance? And the reason why I bring this up is every day, every week, I see a story on Instagram, on LinkedIn about someone making 50K, 100K a month selling X, Y, and Z. Is that just all noise, or is there a roadmap that someone could implement?
Well, this is why I don't tell taxi drivers that I work in AI anymore. I think it's like anything, it comes down to the intention. I mean, how many ways can you skin a cat? There's millions of ways that you can make money. Do you know what I mean? I think AI will just make the systems to achieve that much quicker.
There are a few things that AI really has already enabled us, or is enabling today. One is the building for non-builders. Replit, Lovable. The examples are there. You have people building on Lovable, making 100K a month. And they have never built a thing in their lives, and it took them a month to put it together, and they're now iterating on it. And that's just the reality of what is possible. Actually, there's a good comparison there would have been the first apps in the App Store, although that was for technical people. And I think there is definitely a platform, a thing that is getting liberated that just didn't exist before. And then there is a real market in helping people understand how this can move the needle for them. Because of that massive discrepancy between what's possible and what most people think is possible today, that has a lot of value for a lot of people. So if you can help them get closer to what is possible with the technology, that is almost like, if you're genuinely spending your time, it's kind of a foolproof way of making a decent amount of money today. Like, there's no... If you know what you're talking about there, and it only takes you really a few weeks to kind of spend more time than the average person would, there is a market out there.
But do you find sometimes people that are coming to you are like, this is the next get quick rich scheme?
I see other people teaching AI online, and I think that. I think The World and their wife are AI consultants now on LinkedIn.
That I agree.
And a lot of them is just snake oil. And then
a lot of them being former crypto.
Yeah. Buy my PDF that ChatGPT just wrote for me.
Thanks for watching this Beyond Tomorrow clip. If you haven't subscribed yet to our main channel, join us there for conversations that can help you thrive today and flourish tomorrow. We'll see you next time.